Shalom. I want to start giving all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Rakah Kadah, respect and honor to you elders and apostles out there that teaching this word and that taught this word and continue to stand in their lot. Greetings. This is Prince Shema. This is Saint Shema Basar. And Bazar means glad tidings or tidings, good news. And Shema means listen. Okay, and that's part of the prayer to listen. Because we listen intently to the scriptures to the best of our ability. And that's the first of the prayer. Shema Yasha'Allah. Oh, listen, Israel. Oh, hear Israel. Or hearken Israel. Okay, that's what my name means, just in case you didn't know. Shema. Okay, so now let me get into this point, what I really wanted to get into. Now, one of the things that I wanted to get into, I seen this posting, right? And let me go to this posting that I seen on Facebook. Alright, so let me go here. Let me go right there. Here we go. Now, check this out. Okay, so it says characteristics of a toxic person. Okay, characteristics of a toxic person. So let's get into that. It says hypocritical, can't take criticism of any kind, never admits to being wrong, plays mind games, extremely manipulative, always has to win. Okay, let's get this a little bigger. Self-serving and selfish, tendency to lie, loves drama, can't be trusted, expects blind loyalty, but is not loyal. Twist everything you say to benefit them, will not take no for an answer, lacks healthy boundaries, is punitive when they don't get their way, stonewalls you or gives you the silent treatment, and is a bully. Expects favorable treatment, entitled, envious and jealous, neglectful, uses finance to manipulate. Now, I'm just curious. Now, if you are saying this about somebody, how the hell are you focusing on yourself? If you could sit there and come up with all these qualities about another individual and saying that this individual has all these characteristics, then what characteristics in this chart do you possess? See, you got too much time on your hands. And see, and here's another thing. A lot of people that would use these characteristics of a toxic person, is usually a Negro or Negroman that didn't get their way with you. They didn't get their way with you, or they can't get their way with you because you see right through them. Or they just got a thing with themselves. So what they try to do is get other people to join them to help them out because you're too strong for them. So they'll come up with all these characteristics stating these things about you. So if you can have this much time to focus and study this individual to come up with all these things that's on this chart, you're not focused on yourself. See, that's another thing. You're too busy watching other people to write out a list about them, and that's why you slipping into the darkness, and that's why you're going to stay in the darkness because you're so busy worrying about trying to come up with these accusations of things about a toxic person that they had. And I bet you because you couldn't get your way with them or they checked you. See, what it is, a lot of people like to come up with these things about somebody else's being toxic, and them themselves, they're really talking about themselves. And I'm curious. I'm very curious. How the hell you get to, these are a lot of things that you could come up about a person, right? You can't be focused on, when you got time to build yourself up? When you got time to self-examine yourself to make you a better individual? You coming up with all these things about somebody else. 9 out of 10 people, some people do have these characteristics, but I guarantee you, a lot of people that are seeing these with this chart is people that been butthurt. They never could get their way, and these characteristics really fits them. but they try to put it on the other person because they can't manipulate them. See, when they feel like they by themselves, they need people to help them to prove their point. And it's usually because they don't like what somebody else stands for, and it's usually because they don't like what somebody else preaches. So it's really hurting them inside of their own spirit because they're butthurt. So they try to come up with other things that's dealing with you. That's saying that these things fit you when really it's mad because they didn't get their way. So they'll come up with these things saying, "Oh, you're too much of a bully," and you know what? I remember a Edomite woman told me that I have to tone my voice down. Okay, I have to tone my voice down, and I was like, "Excuse me?" She said, "I have to tone my voice down," and I said, "Well, what is it in my tone that offends you?" And you know what it was? It's me talking like a man. See, it's me talking like a man. You know, so by me talking like a man, they will come with a statement that say something like, "Oh, he's too aggressive." This is all this new generation millennium bullshit to break down the men to a lower decimal. And there's a lot of good men, there's a lot of good women, but society's manipulating these people to go against each other. Black woman against the so-called black woman against the black man, the so-called black man against the black woman, and we all in the curses. And the number one thing, a lot of these people claim that they were Christians. And the people was called Christian first at Acts 11:26 in Antioch. And when you look up Antioch, was modern day Turkey. It would be modern day Turkey now. Antioch. Okay, Acts 11:26. So here's my thing: is they claim to be Christians, but they talk about each other. They claim to be Christians, and they don't follow one thing what these scriptures is. They believe in the devil, but they claim they believe in the Lord. And it's butt hurting them because you remind them of how they should be living. You remind them of how they're supposed to be. So what they do, they come up with charts. Now, some of this, don't get me wrong, is true. It does go with certain people that have these characteristics. But I'm saying if you could sit there and write a list on all of these different people, right, and say that these people, this guy ain't good, you're spending too much time, bro, focused on the wrong things. Especially if you, quote unquote, as a Christian following the Lord, you're supposed to do self-examining yourself to build you up to be a better person. You got too much time on your hand if you could point all these damn things on one individual. Okay? So now let's get into going to the scriptures to counteract that, to filter that out. Okay? Let's go to Luke 6:38. And it says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom, in your bosom. For with the same measure," this is the point, "that you meet with it, it shall be measured to you again." So one of the things too, if you're lying because you butt hurt and you want to put these things on people, see, people don't realize that they be lying. And then they try to get another person to join their hand and that believes with them to go against that person because they really upset how that person is living and what that person's principles is. That's the problem here. So they'll say something like, "All right, he's doing this. He's a bully. What else they would say in the chart? He's a bully. He's he's um he's manipulated. He gets mad that he don't get his way." But see, when you know who you are, and when you really do a self-examine yourself, it don't fit you. Especially when you follow the path of righteousness of Yahweh, the chief cornerstone. This is irrelevant to you, but it's relevant to them. It says, "With them same measure that they meet with ill, it shall be measured to you again. So when you lie, you would be lying if you come and say all these things about this person, and you know it's really not true. You just going with it because you couldn't get your way with them. You don't like the way what they say, and it's not really what they say. You don't like what the Bible. The Bible condemns you and the things you do and how you living. You know, you're stealing from people. You're lying on people. You're trying to get a hate campaign against that individual for what he stands for. But that individual stands in his lot, and he can't be defeated because it's the Lord that's guided him. You niggas claim you know the Lord, but y'all don't know the Lord. Y'all just lip service. Okay? I got family members right now that you see them, that you give them things, and you look out for them and stuff like that. Them niggas get on their feet. They don't have nothing. They borrow money from you, and then they don't know how to pay back, and then they try to get themselves mad at you because they know they don't want to pay you back. Just like a nigga that say, you know what that nigga is? This I was telling my wife this the other day. That's like a Negro that sit there and say, I don't. He rents a room, right? Let's say he rents the room, and I know you've heard this before. He rents a room or an apartment, right? And he know he ain't gonna have the rent money or he don't want to pay. So what the fool does, instead of just coming out saying, yo, I'm trying to work on to get the money, right? What he does, he goes stay at a friend house for a week or two, like he's not there. So in his mind, he could say that, oh, I'm never there, so why should I pay rent? Have y'all heard that before? I don't know why I should pay this rent. It's because I am hardly there. Woo! This is the docile. This is the docile state of mind that the people are in today. This is what the world comes. They don't have no principles. Now let's go on to Matthew 7:2. Matthew 7:2. It says, watch this. So when they come up with that chart that you just seen, the toxic, this is a narcissist chart, and it says, for with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged, and with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. And that's another thing. You're individually lying on an individual because he checked you or he corrected you, and you butt hurt. And that's what the main course is. So that's why you sitting there finding so many things, 9 times out of 10, that on that chart to describe somebody else when you the one that is the wicked one. You can't campaign against a man of the Lord, no matter what you think you can. You can't campaign against him. You're going to lose. All right? Read it again. For with your judgment, you shall be judged. So with your lying and saying, this is him, he's manipulated, he's a bully, and stuff like that, because you butt hurt, because you don't like the way what that person stands for, and you don't like the way how they live, and you don't like the way that you can't get over on them. And it won't let you manipulate them or take advantage of them. So now you wrong and you butt hurt. Shame on you. And this is what it said. And with what measure you meet, whatever you come up with these lies to describe somebody else, which is really you describing yourself, it shall be measured to you again. You just curse yourself. Because not only that, you're lying and you're too busy trying to plot to reveal this other person when you're going to trip up and reveal yourself. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 19. Let's start at 16. And it says, if a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong. So cause for show you dummies. What is a false witness? False witnesses are people that try to come on your Facebook page or whatever Facebook page and put their own opinions, vain opinions about you, or get somebody else to do it for them. Because what you're preaching bothers them. Get your own page. Okay? If you don't like what somebody is saying, don't follow them and don't comment on them. Just go Block them. It's easy. I block people all day. You need me to teach you how to block somebody? I can show you. It's simple. You just hit one button. Okay? So now, read it again. If a full witness rises up against any man to testify against him, that which is wrong. So you could come up and say he's a bully, he's manipulative, he can't take no for an answer, he gets mad, all the different things on the chart that we just read you, the toxic chart of describing a narcissist, right? This is what you do. You're saying that all these things fit him, and it's because you had a disagreement and your butt hurt. So now you want to give him, you want to tell other people these are the things, these are the characteristics and qualities this individual has because you mad because you couldn't get your way. It's like a broken-hearted woman try to get you arrested, lie about you because she can't get her way, or you don't want to be with him no more. Okay, and then it says, and the judges shall make a diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, because this is how deep a false witness is, get other people to go over with their campaign to lie on that individual, lying, and have testified falsely against his brother. Because they would be my brothers and sisters, even though they're wicked, but they still would be my brothers and sisters. But not according to the law, statute, and commandment, but just because they're Israel. And then it says, then shall you do, and then it says, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, lying on him, saying all these characters fit him, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall you do unto him. It says, then shall you do unto him as he hath thought to have done unto his brother. So shall thou put that evil away from among you. So you get rid of them because how they was living. hmm So let's go back to that chart. Okay, let's go back to that chart. And we're going to end it because you see people in the background. The character is a toxic person. Okay, so this is the chart. And these usually, now that don't get this wrong, this does fit certain individuals. But if you sit down and you can try to put all this on one individual, nigga, what are you doing? What time did you have? What are you doing for yourself? You probably ain't got no job. You're so busy focusing on this one person. You're probably a bum. So what are you doing? Self-examine yourself. That's what the scripture says too. Self-examine yourself. You got too much time on your hand, partner. Okay? And it says play mind games, extremely manipulative, and all this is because they can't get their way with you. They really trying to expose who you are, but it's really going to expose them. Once things start turning around for them, they're going to fall. Excuse me. They're going to fall. It says stone walls. You are give you the silent treatment. Is impurity. All these things, I guarantee you, 85%, 95%, because someone got butt hurt. They're butt hurt. They can't get their way, and you stand in your lot. And that's the way it is. And guess what? That's the way it's going to continue to be. All praises due to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.